Hi, it's been a while. I was going to make a video about how I made my webtoon on Procreate, but there's already so many available options, probably better about already how to do that. So instead, we're going to talk about the Webtoon Legends contest, my thoughts, the slight drama, and most importantly, was it even worth the effort? If you didn't know, my name is Elise. I am your neighborhood delusional artist who just wants someone to love my OCs as much as I do. So let's first talk about my overall thoughts. We will get into drama later. When I first decided to join a couple months ago, and when it was first advertised, I originally intended to join the actual manga contest, but instead I chose to join the webtoon contest despite how nervous I was by the stakes. This is my first long-form comic. All my life I've been making mini comics behind the scenes of my OCs, but only recently have I decided to actually post them. When I joined this contest, I understood that I'd be taking on a big challenge. But what I didn't know was that it would be the most creatively draining thing I would ever do in my whole life. The first episode destroyed me. One, because I'm a perfectionist, and I started it over and over and over again until one day I was like, F it. This is my first public comic. Done is better than perfect. So by the time I finished the first episode, 2 months had already passed, and the webtoon comic had officially started. Creating the first episode was so draining that honestly I debated on making a I quit video. In fact, this video was supposed to be an I quit video. I wrote a whole script and everything, and there is many reasons why I wanted to quit. I was at an all-time low creatively, and so much so that I picked up drawing a sketchbook again and streaming for a moment. I knew something needed to change, so I did. I changed my art process to find love in creating again, and by the time this video comes out, the second episode should be available on my Patreon for free members. This whole contest made me understand exactly why all the great non-brain rot, creative and mind-blowing webtoon creators on the platform go on hiatus. Which brings me to my next point. Webtoon has a big problem. Specifically, a capitalist problem. They need to make money. Hence why, over the past 2 years, they have released probably double the amount of webtoon originals they have ever before. They have added more money-making features for both creators and for themselves. But this chance for money has decreased quality significantly, and the creators who still want to release quality get so overwhelmed and overworked that they have no choice but to go on an extended long hiatus. At first, when this contest released, I thought Webtoon was acknowledging that they had a problem in terms of quality and originality. But longer the contest went on for the first 2 weeks, the more annoyed I got. Number 1, Webtoon didn't advertise this contest beyond their Canvas community. Even now, they're actually only advertising it in their Canvas community. Even when the contest officially released, it wasn't heavily advertised on their app's homepage. They were still advertising the video contest, which was for specifically their own IP only. I'm not saying that they should be advertising contest submissions. What I'm saying is that the lack of awareness that this contest is happening is actually baffling. Number 2. Webtoon is literally at this point just being lazy. They released this contest, they created an FAQ and a legal contest guidelines, and they even created a newsletter for it. There is no reason why the whole editing the comic equals disqualification situation should have happened. In their FAQ, which they continue to use as contest rules, they should have just been more detailed on what will lead to disqualification. Or they literally could have just updated their submission format to not include editing, like how they decided to suddenly take away the ability for canvas creators to have a banner. I need to chill. Now, their newsletter. In their newsletter, why is it only now, when the contest has launched, that they had decided that it is actually important to discuss the important parts of the production process? I'm talking about paneling, pacing, the actual creation of the comic itself, not all the pre-production parts, which I understand are important that now that I have my own comic, but the actual production parts are even more important now that I have made my own comic. I apologize for the criticism if it is just an unpaid intern who created the newsletter to be nice, but if it's a whole team who came up with the scheduling, respectively, please do better. Now, number 3. The longer this contest went on, the more I realized that this was just a giant ploy to bring new people to their platform. Okay. Hear me out. This is alleged conspiracy theory made by moi. But remember, when I mentioned that Webtoon had a big problem, I realize now that I didn't actually mention what that problem was. Webtoon US is losing money. Since Webtoon IPO'd in the US stock market, it has only lost money, especially when they flopped on their opportunity with their biggest cash grab, Lore Olympus. Hence why they're still advertising Lore Olympus on their platform to this day. So the shareholders are probably starting to really put pressure on Webtoon to make money. Hence all these additional features that make them money through essentially stealing more than 50% from canvas creators and from the original creator. Allegedly. This pressure then trickles down onto the original creators and the comics that are being created, leading kind of to the current state of the platform, which brings us back to my conspiracy. Instead of making money by making better content, they decided it would be easier to launch a contest that will help them possibly find the new Lore Olympus in which they can keep all the profits this time, and they could have canvas creators advertise contests for them to bring new users who don't know what's good content from what's bad content on the platform. And FYI, if you do decide to spread this conspiracy, you absolutely do not hear it from me. So, after all this, I'm sure you can make an educated guess about my opinion on whether this contest was actually worth it. If you said yes, you're wrong, and I suggest you rewatch the video and subscribe. If you said no, you're also wrong. Please rewatch the video and subscribe. No, I'm just kidding. Guys, the correct answer is that it actually kind of wasn't a complete waste of time, despite my whole entire tirade rant. I did actually learn something from joining this contest. I gained a new appreciation for the good, well thought out comics that I have read throughout the years, and I have earned a greater level of respect while reading them. Sure, a couple of you who are watching this video are thinking to yourself, I want to give this a try. I want to create a comic. I want to be on webtoon. And I would say with my whole chest, go for it. No one is stopping you. Just have a level of expectations. Because even if you don't win, you will be leaving a better person. A person who appreciates artists, which is something that is starting to really lack nowadays. AI bros. Besides my shade to the state of the world, I would like to thank all of you for all the support. And honestly, if I hadn't been public about my commitment to this project, I probably wouldn't have made it this far. And the fact that we reached over 500 followers a couple of days ago was actually literally so mind-boggling. I have a jump scare every time I open the YouTube app or check out my channel. So really guys, I can't thank you enough. If you want to read the next episode of my comic before it is released on Webtoon, please join my Patreon for free. And comment down below your opinions of this contest. Do you believe in my conspiracy? What has been your experience? And do you feel the same way? Also, check out my previous video to get a better idea of my comic concept before you start reading it, because now realizing that making my comic and writing about it are two different things, some things might be a little bit confusing. Anyways, see you later. Toodles.